Well, hello and welcome to Stockton Junction. So, I mentioned in the previous video about these wagons and issues with the helix. So what we've done is I've taken off a load of the tension lock couplings and I've fixed them with fixed couplings. So what we've got are these, which are fixed, oh sorry, focus, there we go, fixed couplings. They won't work on every wagon, but wagons that like these, if I can take one off, they'll work on wagons that, there we go. So because it has movement, it'll work. If you had a fixed NEM pocket there that didn't move, then they would not work very well with these, but they work well on coaches and wagons with movable NEM pockets. So what I've done is I've just put a 7 on there for now for a small test, and then if that runs alright I'll do the rest of them and test them again. We have got a KD in between at the front. That may be an issue, it may not, because I have found previously, but that was before I did some adjustments to the helix, that the KDs rose up and jumped off. So that but I have done some track work fixing since then, so that might not be a problem now. So we'll wait and see. I'm going to give this a little run and we'll test the helix and see how we get on with it. Wow, so far so good. Not a single wheel's come off going down. Last time they came off around where there is now. There is, I can see it, there's actually a bit of a bump in the helix there which I need to sort out, but I have had loads of troubles with this one. Oh, there's a wheel there that doesn't look right, unless it's the centre. Actually, it could be the centre. It's got those discs in there, I think maybe they're, it doesn't look lined up. But she's running fine so far. That's a good start. Oh, she hit a dead spot there on the things. I haven't cleaned this train, so I might have to give her a clean actually. But actually, I've worked out what this issue is there, why she keeps stopping. So she is exactly the same length as the frogs. So from one frog to the next frog is where her pickups are. So she's dying on the pickups because the frogs aren't wired yet. So obviously, and then she just slightly overruns one frog, gets some power and goes again. So that's why it's stopping there. It's not dirty track, it's just because the frogs haven't been powered up. Now hopefully she'll go up here alright. I do need to wipe some of the cleaning stuff off because the trains are slipping. Oh no, sounds like quite derailment already. No, I haven't. It did sound like I had one around there, I don't know why. No derailments at all with these couplings, look. Oh, and I said it. And what happened? I'm going to have to stop her anyway quickly. There we go, one. Alright, we're bringing her in now to stop. Yeah, so we had one wagon uncouple, but that was... I'll have to check the track work and see if there's an issue with the track there. I'll have to run it round that bit several times now and see if I can get an exact spot, but I think it was round the back, so I'm going to have a look at that first. Right, so I've run up all the way back down without a derailment. I'm just going to leave her running up and see if I can catch an exact time of when it goes on camera. And I'm around the other side because it was round this side it started derailing. So, but I believe it was further up here. Guarantee it won't do it now. I'm watching this side. We're on the second loop. Onto the third loop. And no problems again yet. And it was there I said, oh, she hasn't derailed. And she came round the backside here. Oh, I can see a bit of a dip there where I need to fix. There we go. I know exactly where it is now. Right, so I've sorted I know where it is. Look, so here I had a bit of an issue previously, and I've stuck some bits underneath to give it some bit of super elevation. But I've done some adjustments, and it's sticking up. Sorry, it's not in focus, but yeah, this outer rail here is sticking up a bit too much, and that's kicking stuff out. So I'm gonna have to try and cut these out, drop it back down and glue it and see, or if not, if I do need super elevation still. It was just an issue with some certain parts, like up there's a little one, but that one's fine. Yeah, so just little places where I've had to make adjustments. But since this, I did have all the screws in the track, like you can see there, look. But I've taken most of them out and glued the track down properly. But obviously I did that when it was still down. So I need to fix this, and we'll give it another good testing. And hopefully what we'll do also is we'll test it with just the D-links couplings as well, to see if it was just this throwing those out. Because obviously it's quite ideal to have D-links because they're easy to take apart. It's quite hard to set up a whole train with those fixed couplings, although once my trains are on the layout they do plan to stay there, so I'm quite happy with the fixed ones. They do work quite well actually. I did notice they look better. There's no forwards backwards motion of them, the jerkiness that you sometimes see. So I probably would go with those if they work. But yep, I'm going to crack on with this now, see what I can do here, and come back to you and show you where we're going. So this is why it's good to do testing. If you've got a problem, test different things, you know, until you work out what the problem is, and then you can start fixing it. Oh, I know exactly what the problem was now. You know, when you've joined tracks, you always put in some sleepers and you cut the bits off. Well, I haven't quite cut the chairs off properly. Look, I haven't cut them off flat enough, and what's happening is they're pushing the track up on that side. They're flatter that side. That's what the issue was. So what I'll do is I'll trim this up, get that in, because as soon as I took them out, it's dropped to a good level, so I don't even have to remove any of this other stuff, I don't think. Although I may, because there's a bit of elevation there that doesn't look quite right. So we want to get this track work perfect, so I'm going to keep fiddling with it. Well, we've got to come back up again, and let's see if it's any better. Now, I did notice when I reversed her back down there's another issue with a section of track that isn't quite flat, where the wagon wobbled, or one wagon wobbles, which is right at the back where it is now, but on the next level up. So I may have to look at fixing that, but for now it's here where we're looking at. Let's see if, and there we go, may have fixed that problem. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take her back up, I'm going to fit the rest of the wagons and see how she goes with all of them on the fixed couplings. Right, I've got them all fitted now. All of the rake is done, and they look pretty good. They're good close coupling as well, as you can see. If I get a bit lower, you might be able to see how close up they are. These are the 18mm version. I do 16, 16, 18, 20, 22 and 24mm. So there's 5 different sizes of them. They're pretty good. I've had these weren't these are on my website, which I'll mention shortly, but they're not my personal design. They're from somebody else, but I pay to use some of their products. This is absolutely brilliant. I know he uses them from his testimonies himself on his layout, and I've got to say, these are really good. If you're not going to be moving your rakes, they are better, because what they don't allow is that push and pull as much like that once they're going. There is a little bit of give in these. I mean, they're more designed for coaches than wagons, but it's not bad, and I do see a lot of benefits to it. So my first design, my first print off was in a grey resin, which you can see I've painted black over the top. Doesn't look quite as good as the printed in black, and this is a really good resin. It's a bit more expensive, but it's actually more flexible, so it's hard to do this while filming, but if I can get focus. But yeah, this, look, it's flexible, so they don't break so easily, whereas this stuff is is a bit more rigid, and I've had them snap off on here. But yeah, so they're printed in this lovely black ABS resin, so no painting necessary, and as you can see when they're in there, they really blend in, barely even notice them. So actually they're really good. So yeah, the website is stockscenics3d.com. It'll be in the description as well. I was selling stuff on eBay. I'm moving over to the website. I've got a load of new products on there that aren't on eBay, and I'm slowly I'm still selling on eBay, but I'm slowly sort of moving towards the website, because I'd like to keep it all in one place. It's a lot more organized. It's better for bookkeeping and that sort of thing as well. It's so much easier than eBay. So, but yeah, I'm going to give this a test now with the whole rake and see how we go. She looks even better with the whole rake on. Now, I did have one derailment, but it was right over in the corner over here. But I don't know if that's come from the helix. No, no wheels causing any issues. Yeah, so one right over the back there, typical. So I'm going to have to do something over there now. Now, I've no doubt she'll stop through here again because of the points. Yeah, see, every time. Yeah, that's just like I said, because I haven't wired the frogs up, so I'm going to have to deal with that at some point soon. She's on her way round. Yeah, I really do need to get those points wired up, but it's a job I'm leaving. It's just typical that the wheelbase is exactly the same length, so hopefully I've glued that bit over the back there as well, so that should be all right now. Like I said, there's a bit of the grease on the helix. I've wiped some off on the other side, but not on this side, so it will cause some slowing down. But I'm not too bothered about that. at the minute. She's pulling up this whole rake nicely, and two moments of truth are over the back there. Make sure there's no issues there. No, not so far. And this bit here, oh yeah, we've got a problem. We're going to run away, and that is why I don't use KDs on the helix. Right, sorry, trying to get in, has started the train. So yeah, I've removed the, well, I haven't removed the KD, I've swapped her around. I've turned her around so she's got the D-link, and I put the D-link coupling on. Oh, she's just slipping at the moment, but yeah. So, not worried about the slipping at the moment. I can deal with that stuff later on. I'm more worried about ironing out track problems and coupling problems, but so far most issues have been with the KD and that point bit there, so, and they don't seem to be happening anymore. Yeah, she's definitely slipping a bit on the weight. I don't know why this time and not so much last time. Like I said, I do need to give it a cleaner off to wipe down. I might just run the CMX up and down just with the cleaning pad dry, just to wipe off the excess grease that's on there. I can't really get a very good test if she doesn't move. Oh yeah, I saw there's still a bump there and it did derail. There is still a tiny bump this side. I fixed that, but it's still there where that bit is, so I'll have to sort that out. One thing I will point out is every time it derails over the back, it's always the first wheel on this one, and every time it derails over here, it's always number 4 every single time. So I don't know if there's a issue with the back-to-backs. It seems all right. Ah, no. When I move this one side to side, there's no play. When I move this one, there's play. Quite a bit of play this end. So the back-to-back on here. Now, that's my mistake, because I unboxed them and put them straight on the track. You know, when I do unboxing on wagons, I always show you to check the back-to-backs. And this time I didn't. So that's what happens. It can cause mystery derailments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back up the top. It's going to be a pain to do it with all the... Yeah, that one's got a bit of play as well, but they're not derailing. But number 4 definitely was. I reckon that's well out. Yeah, I can feel so much play in that. And number 1, yeah, same. So yeah, I'm going to do the back-to-backs and see if that helps again, and do another test. Well, I can tell you the one thing, that was an absolute pain in the back end. So out of 15 wagons, only 4 of the wheels, the back-to-back fitted straight in nice and snugly, but all the rest were either tight or extremely tight. I mean, there was 2 or 3 that this wouldn't even go in at first. So, you know, this is a useful tool. So hopefully that's made a difference. We've also, for the next test as well, I've put in one of the coupling bars to the train as well. So we'll see if that eliminates anything. The only thing I do see is that it's a bit close coupling on the train actually. That'll probably be an issue on the corners. I might need a longer one on there. I might have to take that off. Yeah, I reckon. So you got, what is it, 18 on here, maybe 22 or on there, just to be on the safe side. Another 4mm. We need a bit of gap. Right, yep, so I put a 22 in there. I've got buffers missing on this model, but yeah, when it's at its closest point, it's got a small gap, but we need a little bit of gap for the corners. Although these are a lot more closely coupled. So I may have got away with a 20 in there, to be honest. But I'd rather be safe for the testing. I can always change that one later, so we'll see. We'll see how she goes. Going all right so far. See if this eliminates the one at the back, or if that's just a track issue. Obviously I can't film the back corner because there's tools and bits in the way where I'm moving things around in here at the moment to try and get to different areas of the layout. I need to get the fiddle yard finished so that I can do underneath. I'm not going to say a word, but it's looking okay. I don't want to jinx it, so now about 3 or 4 seconds to the corner, and that's where it went last time. Whiz through over here, and no derailment. So there you go, that derailment wasn't track, it was probably the back-to-backs. Now she's coming round now for the helix run. Again, obviously I still haven't done any of the wiping down, so she will go a bit slow in places, but oh, and you can do it, girl. She still manages it, just about. And to be honest, this Bachmann is a very slow runner anyway. This is at 3/4 speed it's running. So I don't know if someone's done some adjustments on it before I got it, because this one came chipped when I bought it. So there is still a slight bump there, yeah, it kicks it off at that bump, so yeah, got to adjust that bit. Still a tiny bit of a bump there, but no derailments now at all. So fixed it. So what with the back-to-backs causing 2 of the wagons to derail regularly and a couple of track issues, it's all good. So just doing another test now with a different loco, and see how this one gets on. And it is the Accurascale class 50. And she's got a good weight to her, so we'll see how she gets on pulling this. Also I want to try and get a bit of extra speed going up the helix, just to see if it's all good with a bit more speed as well, because the other one was going quite slow. So and that's the reason I changed the loco over, because she's a bit heavier. And look at her steam up there, no problem whatsoever. Here's the moment of truth, and look at that, absolutely fantastic. And she goes underneath, ready to go back up the top. Well, there we go. Absolutely fantastic. Perfectly ran round 2 or 3 times without a single issue. So the main point though was definitely the back-to-backs, and lesson learned from me. I mean, all my HDAs I did the back-to-backs and I never had a problem with them. So put these on, didn't do the back-to-backs. Guess what? There's the answer. So it's a bit of a downside for Accurascale, I'm afraid. That's one negative for those wagons. The only negative though is they're not coming set to the right widths with the wheel sets, which is a bit of a disappointment because you'd think they'd have that done in the factory. So maybe that's something Accurascale can look into, but you never know. I might pass it on to them that this keeps happening, because I have noticed it with all the HDAs. I had the same problem. But yeah, there's a guy actually just messaged me while I was halfway through filming this, and he said he's got the same wagons and a couple of his keep derailing. Well, I can guarantee you if you check the back-to-backs, that'll be the problem. So again, new wagons, always check them. Don't accept that they're coming out the factory set right. Obviously there's a few track issues. You know, I'm still sort of laying track and testing and stuff, but obviously when you put new stuff on, you should check it's right before you run it. So that's my mistake there, one I won't be making again. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and see you all soon. Bye for now.